But doom. Tegus?
Ba-doom.
Ba-doom. I feel like the game's music is a little bit loud. Alright guys, so is that a Neko Master in the chat? Hey yo, what's up? What's up? What is that emoji? Wait.
Somebody's slapping the table.
Is it?
Hot slam.
But hi! We are playing some... Oh, what did I click? Oh god. Oh, continue. Yes. We are playing this game, which is... It's Totless. Oh, it doesn't show on my phone, that's why I was confused. It just shows like the first frame of like nothing. But I feel like we were close to finishing this game, but you know. Playtime 5 hours and 13 minutes. Did we play this for 5 hours last stream?
I forget.
Did we seriously play this for 5 hours last stream? What? Hi Archie! Whatever, you know what? Let's load this up, okay? Yes, let's load this save file. And let's get back to it, okay? So, first, you know what we have to do, okay? There doesn't seem to be anything abnormal about this critter. Pluck the wings! You begin to pull up the wings of the butterfly and stuff them into a small wooden lockbox for safekeeping. Take a moment away from the pain to smile now, my friend. If you only knew what life had in store for you, you'd be dancing in the rain as we speak. It is time to reap what you've sown, wanderer. May it be a bountiful harvest. A statue of an unholy figure stands tall before you. It radiates a dark energy and emits great heat from within its molten belly. What would you like to do? Walk away. Old dusty clock sits on the wall. The hands of the clock have stopped and frozen on 7:06. The hands emit a faint purple glow. Royal tapestry hangs on the wall. It's obviously seen better days. A stone chair is positioned tightly against the wall, and in the seat sits a peculiar figure. Thanks, sir. Oh. Oh. In the seat sits a peculiar figure. It remains idle, yet you get the sense that it's watching every move you decide to make. God dang it, see. Nico Nico ni, anata no Nico Nico ni. Ikataka oyazawa Nico Nico. Nico ni to better love Nico. XD! Something rests in the hands of the figure. What do you want to do? Inspect the figure's hands. You inspect the hands of the figure and discover that it's holding a small coin. I got a wisdom token! My decision has been noted. A piece of parchment hangs on the wall. It contains a list of names you've never heard. Strangely, all of the names appear to be written upside down. An old painting of a man with a distorted face rests on the stone wall. His eyeball appears to be plucked out of his head and rests on the table in front of him. The painting is tilted. The Watcher. The fireplace rages on, yet the cobwebs around it cling tight and refuse to burn. There's no way that the fireplace could stay lit for a long period of time with the current state it's in. Someone has been here recently. Old, blood-rusted iron bars line the room like a prison cell. It's unclear whether this was made to keep someone in, someone out, or something in. The flames dance with the brazier. Whoops. Oh, well, we've seen that many a time. An old plaque rests on the wall with various names chiseled into it. There are only 4 names on the plaque that you can see. 3 of them are names you've never heard before, and the final name is yours. Royal tapestries hanging on the wall. It's obviously sent in better days. Fresh fruit sits in a bowl on the table beneath some tattered tapestries. The fruit seems like it was just picked and washed this morning. There's no signs of bugs or pests looming in the bowl, and no signs of rot or decay. This is it, Wanderer. This is what you've been waiting for. Every decision you've made has led you to this moment. Now, gaze upon the mirror and tell me, what do you see?
Oh, what's this? Coward is dead. We have killed him.
Thanks, Archie. Pressed against the wall sits a mystical mirror, swirling with radiant magics. You can see many images contorting themselves within the twisted nether. Would you like to look deeper into the mirror and see your reflection? Mirror, mirror, show to thee what secrets have been hidden from me. Show me weakness, show me strength. Describe in detail, tell in length. Show me what I've been afraid to see. Show me who I'm afraid to be. Show me everything, reflect the true. Show me why I've come to you. You gaze deeply into the mirror at your own reflection. What it reflects back at you are the answers you seek. Which are? Deep within the mirror, a reflection is formed. It has revealed to you the reflection of the fortress. The story of the fortress is surely an interesting one. It is said that the reflection of the fortress represents the soul of someone who has been hurt or traumatized in the past and has put their defenses up. It is a fortress of solitude, a safe place with heavily fortified walls to protect the parts of ourselves that we guard all too well. It is carried by a turtle to symbolize how slowly we move through life and how long it takes for us to trust someone enough to let them into our fortress. It is also carried upon the back of the turtle to symbolize the burden it is to be so untrusting of others with our deepest secrets that we hold so dear. Oftentimes, it's because we fear the judgment of others and we're afraid to open up and let someone within our walls. Other times, it's because we've let people in before and they've made themselves appear like they could be trusted and then proved otherwise. So we're fearful of might occur if we make the same mistake with the wrong person once again. Unfortunately, this defense mechanism of building walls has one fallback and caveat with grave detriment. And that, my friend, is that the walls do not discriminate. Walls do not just keep out the bad people who seek to harm us, but they have a nasty habit of keeping all people out. So while our subconscious minds use it to protect and defend ourselves from those seeking to do us harm or come harboring ill intent, they also keep us out from those who mean us no harm at all, often wanting what's best for us. We push those away from our fortress for the fear that they will bring harm to us, or abandon us in times of need, thus creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of pain and abandonment. The reflection of the fortress is there to let us know that the burden of carrying walls is one that will impede our journey through life, and we must take comfort in our own inner strength that we possess. We've been through so much, and we survived. If we can do it once again, we can do it again if need be. As long as we have the confidence and knowledge that we are survivors, we have an uncanny ability to take on the world like no one else ever could. I feel like this is the end. Did we seriously end off right at the end last time?
Maybe.
If we continue to push the world away, however, or keep the world out, so to speak, then we will never have the things we truly want in life, and the weight of the fortress we carry on our backs will eventually sink under its vast burden hulking mass. We will plummet to the depths of the ocean that we are so desperately treading through to find the land that we call home once and for all. We must let down our walls and have faith in our inner strength. We must have confidence in ourselves to know that we can and we will survive anything that comes our way. Let the reflection of the fortress be your warning and your blessing to a more open, illustrious future. You don't deserve to carry such weight on your shoulders. Your swim, your journey, will be so much easier once you shed the dead weight you've carried for so long. Your secret word is fortress. We did end off right at the end. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
This is the ending. Are you kidding me? Bruh. Bruh. So this is where I often like to look at other people's things. So somebody's gotten goblet. Somebody got shackled. Goblet. Shackled. Duality. That's a new one. Goblet. Fortress. Duality. Shepherd. Fortress, shepherd, shackled. A lot of shackled, a lot of fortress. Oh, tigers. Remember this word, for it will benefit you greatly if you decide to use it. Sometimes the mirror reflects something within your soul, and sometimes the mirror reflects the reverse of what resides inside of you. Both factors are equal of value. It is up to you to interpret whether your reflection shows your reality or the reverse of it, wanderer. So pay heed and listen to my words, for the mirror never lies. I will free you from the confines of this place once and for all. You are free to do as you please from this point onward. I will wish you the best of luck in your journey forward, Wanderer, for it is now time for you to do some reflection of your very own. I discovered 7 out of 7 deadly sins, 22 out of 23 butterflies, 17 out of 18 torn journals, 21 out of 21. Man, I missed 1 and 1. Are you kidding me? You have discovered 6 out of 7 artifacts, 7 out of 8 relics. I just missed like 1 of like so many things.
You can just you can play the game now. Just
But
play
this
the game
particular
over.
journey must end here. There are 5 separate endings to discover and many hidden secrets littered throughout each room that can only be found through clever exploration. We hope you enjoyed the experience and have learned a little more about how your brain works with presented various scenarios and options to choose from. Take the secret word that was assigned to you at the end of your session, leave in a comment. Yep. The advisor to you. We feel that it provides great opportunity for player-developer interaction and allows players to cast their votes on where the story should heed. The advisor. It's a choices matter style of game that's never been done before, as you, the player, are responsible for how the story is written in future episodes. The advisor? Hold up. The advisor. Wait, I have it. I have that one. We will also be taking your name from the comments and placing it in the credits of our upcoming RPG. Yep. If your secret word, if we've read it, we'll always read your comment. You won't go unnoticed. If you like to support us by probably leave a secret word. Yeah, yes. Markiplier, ayo. Thank you for being you. We want to best you the best in your future endeavors. Okay.
Hey, stream's done.
20-minute stream.
My majority of it was be right back, or like start the stream.
Right. How about this? We can play the advisor because they like recommended the advisor here. Wait, There we go. And let me just rename this real quick. There we go. Arisu advising people the world is doomed. There we go. We'll just go ahead and move on to the next game that they said. They literally recommended this game from that game, and I already had this one installed, so you know.
What's a good stream, Archie?
So, let's go ahead. Right. New game. Yes, I know. How did this happen? I can't believe I'm stuck here. What are they going to do with us? We're going to die in here, aren't we? Highly unlikely. Oh yeah? Why do you say that? Because the king's daughter don't typically slaughter prisoners in their cell. Well, that's a bit of good news, right? He would much rather drag us out into the town square and execute us in front of the townsfolk to make a public example out of us. I thought you said we weren't likely to die. No, I said we weren't likely to die in here. It would be highly improbable and quite a waste if they could use our execution as a deterrent to those seeking to commit crimes in the kingdom. Well, you seem awfully content with our circumstances. Why are you so calm? There's no use worrying what we cannot control. It takes valuable time and mental energy away from what matters, and that's finding a solution to the problem at hand. Or, in other words, focusing on what we do have control over. Oh yeah? So then, I'm assuming you have some grand plan or something? It's already unfolding as we speak. Hey, what's all this talking going on? Don't you know how to be quiet? We're sorry, sir. It won't happen again. We'll shut up right quick. Since when is speaking a crime? What was that, prisoner? He didn't mean anything by it. He just, had a frog in his throat. I'm actually not even sure that he was speaking words. Actually, I think the real crime is that you think it's acceptable to walk up and ruin our perfectly good conversation. Really quite rude, if you ask me. What the hell do you think you're doing? You're going to get us killed! I'm in a BDSM dungeon? Archie, what the Well, it's a good thing I wasn't asking you, Phil. I think someone ought to teach you a lesson for talking back like that. Well, now you've done it. I tend to find myself on a never-ending journey for knowledge. I would absolutely love to learn a lesson, if only there was someone here educated enough to teach it to me. Bloody hell, mate. Are you effing mental? I think I've heard enough of you, scum. I'll be taking that tongue of yours. Hope you don't mind. Now, hold still. I don't want to hurt ya. I just want to make sure you never speak again. I think I'm gonna be sick. I can't watch this. What in the hell is this trickery? Now allow me to teach you a lesson on why you should never piss off a magician. You killed him? That would be putting it lightly, yes? Are you going to kill me? Not if I don't have to. So, this means I'm free! I'm free! Oh, praise the gods, I will see the light of day again! Well, that hope was certainly short-lived. I don't suppose you are housekeeping. It appears I've made an awfully big mess. So, this is the mighty Magnus magician pyromaniac murderer. You make me sound like such a bad guy with that choice of tone, King. Yes, well, you don't have the best of reputations across the land for being a good Samaritan. For example, if I were to look at your list of charges, it'd appear that until a few moments ago you've been held prisoner for setting blaze to, let's see, 4 barns, 3 merchant stands, the local inn, a stable, the library, the church, a farm just outside of the castle containing my favorite cattle, and the orphanage. The library was an accident. Yes, well, the list doesn't end there. Let's take a look at the casualties of your actions, shall we? If you insist. During your reckless pyromaniacal killing spree, you managed to incinerate 10 men, 4 women, several children, 2 dogs, and a cat. Excuse me, King, but what kind of monster do you take me for? To think that I'd harm 2 dogs and a cat. It's obvious to me that you not only lack a conscience, but along with it, lack of self-control and ability to keep your mouth shut. To be fair, he didn't burn down his school, so silver lining, right? I assure you, King, the ability is present. The desire is what's missing. Even still, I've come to realize that you're far too great of a threat to keep you locked away in my dungeons. I do not wish to make an enemy of you. Well, that's a surprise. You're smarter than you look. Instead of attempting to punish you, as I'm sure it would end poorly for my men, I would like to offer you a deal. I'm listening. A man of your power has obviously been around a while, seen many things on his journeys, discovered many secrets, read much in his travels about things outside of our lands. This would be an accurate assessment, King. Now get to the point, would you? I want you to be my royal advisor. He wants me to advise you. That's what I said, yes? And you trust me enough for such a powerful position? Absolutely not. However, I'm taking a calculated risk. You see, Magnus, I can either let you go, or I can attempt to take advantage of the blessing that the gods have laid before me when you came burning your way across my kingdom. If I can give you a reason to stay here, it means I don't have to worry about what you might do out there, and if I can give you enough of a reason not to betray me, then your expertise would come in handy with the problems we've been having around here. I find your offer interesting. To a man with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and new experiences, interesting is about as good of a response I can hope for. Again, I must say, you're not as dumb as you look, King. If I were to accept your offer, what would I get in return? Well, what would you like? The man in the cells with me. Who is he? Billy Buckles, a local merchant. He usually peddles various wares whenever he can get his hands on to feed his family, so I can hear. Interesting. What was his crime? Tax evasion. Tax evasion? You've locked him in the royal palace dungeons for tax evasion? He somehow managed to weasel his way out of paying for over a decade. By the time we found out, he had racked over 3,000 shillings worth of debt to the kingdom. You don't say. A lily peddler who acquires random wares and somehow manages to outsmart the king's tax collectors for that long? Something doesn't add up. What is it you're implying, magician? Well, either he's more intelligent and talented than he leads on, and common goods isn't the only thing Billy Buckles is peddling, or your kingdom is so poorly run that you'd need my help more than you'd care to admit. Both of these things may simultaneously be true, Magnus. I can confirm that it isn't easy to admit weakness for me, but what I've been doing hasn't worked for years, and I've dug myself quite the hole. My brother, Lord Farion, has waged war against my kingdom. My people are settled, which has led to economical depression. Food and supplies are getting more difficult to come by, and my army's morale is shifting southward. If I don't find a way to turn my kingdom around quickly, Farion will usurp my throne and take everything our father built. And that's where Magnus enters stage left. I see now. Yes, now you see. So will you help me or not? Billy Buckles, the merchant. Free him from his shackles and let him go back to his family. Pardon him of his crimes and wipe his debt clean. And we, sir, have a deal. Why do you care about some lowly old merchant man? Out of all the things you could have asked for, you choose this. You see, your highness, your failure to comprehend the steps towards what I stand to gain from making this bargain is precisely why you're hiring me to turn your kingdom around instead of doing it yourself. As much as your words sting my soul, Magnus, I suppose you're right. I may not see the logic in your reasoning, but I do trust it nonetheless. I think we've had enough small talk. Time is of the essence, yes? Perhaps we should get to the root of the problem and start solving some of these pressing issues. Agreed. I will start by asking you a plethora of questions. I want you to answer them for me. Sounds a bit like an interrogation. In a way, it is. Some of my questions will be to determine to what degree I can place my trust in you, and some of these questions will be to determine your level of knowledge in various areas. While I'm analyzing your problem-solving skills, I will also be slipping in hypothetical questions and scenarios in which you will provide an answer that theoretically will help me turn my kingdom around. Then on with it, King. My participation comes from a willing mind, but my patience runs thin like the hairline you cover with that enormous golden crown of yours. Well, now you're just being nasty. No, that was a general observation. If you want to see nasty, you should see what I left splattered across your dungeon walls. Yes, I heard about Guardsman Taylor. He was one of my favorites. Oh. Whoops. We should probably get started. A stellar idea, Your Highness. I'm ready when you are. Then let us begin. Food, supplies, nutrition, all important aspects of building and maintaining a strong army and keeping the morale of the people trending upwards. Let's see how resourceful you are and how quick of a problem solver you may be. Are you confident in your ability to determine which foods would best benefit a marching army? Sure. I'm sure I could figure it out relatively easy. My mother always made me eat my vegetables. Would you consider yourself to be a healthy individual? Am I a healthy individual?
No.
I'm just selective with the arrow keys. Not really. Does consuming copious amounts of alcohol, burning down a village, blacking out, and then waking up in a prison cell count as being healthy? Would you consider yourself to be a good cook? If I want to be, I can be. I tend to do all of my cooking myself. I don't trust others with my food. Are you able to follow directions for recipes easily? Yeah. Do I come across as someone who has difficult struggles with reading? No, I'm not a healthy individual. Of course I am able. Are you good at making your own cooking recipes? No. I could certainly think of better uses of my time. Have you ever fantasized about being in a cooking competition? No. I can't say that I have, but I wouldn't be opposed to setting things on fire. Do you feel like you have what it takes to win a cooking competition? Absolutely not. I'm a man of many talents, though that may not be one I'm confident in. Are you able to identify and determine whether or not a wild-growing food or vegetable is edible or toxic? Me? No. No, but I'd be sure to feed it to someone I don't like first, just in case. If you were in the wilderness and you had to forage to survive, do you believe that you would make it 3 months without any aid from others? No. I might die of boredom without having someone around to make fun of for that long. Do you consider yourself to be a capable hunter? No. I've never had to hunt for my food before, though I've been quite known to conjure quite a magically delicious bowl of cereal every now and then. Do you prefer to eat meat over vegetables? Depends on the meat. Depends on the meat. In general, I do technically eat more various kinds of vegetables than meats, because I mainly just like chicken. Let's say no. I'm not all that picky, really. Are you confident in your ability to make a nutritious and filling meal with minimal ingredients? No. I hear rocks can be mighty filling, though might not be the best for your teeth. Do you think it's important to train the troops to be able to forage for themselves in dire situations? Yes. A soldier that can take care of themselves is a soldier worth keeping. Do you feel adequate nutrition is among the top priorities for a marching army? Yes. An army marches on its stomach before it marches on its feet. Do you think the soldiers should get a choice in the food that they eat? Yes. I think offering a choice would drastically boost morale. Do you think it's ever acceptable to drink water from a still pond? It depends on the pond. No. Do you want dysentery? Because that's how you get dysentery. If your strongest soldier was hungry, would you give up your own food rations to fill their belly? Yes. If it meant an increased chance of victory, surely. If there's only enough water to quench one soldier's thirst, would you have 2 soldiers fight to determine who gets the water? No. If we're short on water, soldiers fighting amongst themselves is the last thing we need. Do you believe that food is more important than water when preparing for battle? No. Of course not. Water is of utmost importance, always. Do you think you'd be good at managing all of the food and water intake of a marching army? Sure. I think I'd be good at managing pretty much any task given, yes. Do you think it's more beneficial for an army to fight a battle on a full stomach or an empty stomach? Full stomach. Fighting on a full stomach, of course. We need our army full of energy and battle ready. Which do you think is a better skill to teach your troops, foraging or hunting? Foraging. A soldier who can forage is far better off. Which do you think is a better skill to teach your troops, gathering food or purifying water? Purifying water. Purifying water is a skill that always comes in handy. Would you rather feed your troops a diet consisting 90% of meat and 10% of vegetables, or 90% of vegetables and 10% meat, mostly vegetables? A diet consisting mainly of vegetables will provide more nutrition overall. Would you rather have your troops resort to cannibalism in order to survive, or fight a battle while starving? Fight on an empty stomach. Resorting to cannibalism would drastically reduce morale. It would be better to fight on an empty stomach. Would you rather your troops fight a battle high on the wild forest mushrooms, or drunk on the fine stale the kingdoms has to offer? High on shrooms. I'd rather them be out of their mind on shrooms. I just think it'd be a rather hilarious spectacle. Would you rather give extra rations to your strongest warriors, or weakest warriors? Weakest. A chain is only as strong as the weakest link. Would you rather give food rations as a reward or take away food rations as a punishment? Rewarding soldiers with extra food is always a great morale booster. If your troops are dying of thirst, would you rather they have tainted water or no water at all? Tainted water will lead to far greater problems. You would have to find an alternative. If rations become scarce, would you rather starve yourself, reducing your mental clarity and tactical prowess, or starve one of your soldiers, weakening them before battle? I don't require much to eat. I've dealt with starvation on plenty of occasions, and my mental clarity has never faltered. If you could feed your troops food that increased their strength and endurance substantially, or food that increased their agility and precision substantially, what would you choose? Agility and precision. Agility beats strength, precision beats endurance. Would you rather feed your troops food that makes them 10% smarter or 10% stronger? Smarter. Brain speed spawn any day. Would you rather feed your troops food that gives them a massive burst of energy for 10 minutes, or steady amount of energy? Slow and steady wins the race. Or so I hear. If you were to capture enemy troops, would you rather feed them rations and keep them alive, or starve them to death? Keep them alive. I'm sure we could turn a foe into a friend with enough food. If you ran out of rations and had to resort to killing and cooking prisoners of war to sustain your troops, would you tell them or keep it a secret? Keep it a secret. What they don't know won't hurt them. Your troops have been marching for many days and your rations are nearly depleted. Wildlife in the area has been scarce on your travels, but there's a peaceful village not too far off in the horizon. What would you like to do? I can be very persuasive with the locals. You've been captured an enemy soldier who claims to be the best chef in all of the land. He says that if you spare his life, he will cook meals for your troops that are more nutritious and will go further than what they are currently eating. We'll have to treat him like the rest of the prisoners. We decide to keep regardless of his job title. Dex builds, fight me. You've come across a potentially bountiful harvest of unknown mushrooms. They have been added to your food supply. You're in a foreign land and you've never seen this kind of mushroom before, but an old man passing claims that the mushrooms are good to eat. Trust him. I'm a pretty good judge of character. I'm sure I could trust an old man with good reason. You're running low on funds for food rations and you need to choose which foods to cut back on. Cut back on meat. A little less meat won't hurt us as much. Your troops are starving and there's a big battle on the horizon. One night's sleep and your men will be off to war and decide the fate of your kingdom. You have a dozen prisoners for the opposing army held captive. Your chef thinks that might be a good idea to resort to cannibalism. What would you like to do? If we're going to keep prisoners, they might as well be put to use. A small fort rests just over the mountains, about a day's and a half's travel away. You have good intel that the fort contains a bountiful amount of food. If you're to overtake the fort, you wouldn't be able to stay long as you must continue your march. You would only be able to take 20% of the food with you. On top of that, your men don't need the extra food. Leave it alone, march on. War is fought in inches. We don't need to take any unnecessary steps if we can afford it. Your horses have grown ill from bad weather in the foreign lands, and you have a feeling they're going to start dropping like flies over the next day. Put them down and harvest them. Even horses deserve a kind death, but we might as well make use of the meat. Very good. I will be taking note of all the answers that you give. Well, I surely hope so. Now, how about we delve into the world of divine blessings, magic, and curses? Well, now you're talking my language, sweetheart. We'll see if you know as much as you let on. Do you believe that magic has the potential to solve all problems? Sure. Do you even know whom you're speaking with, King? Of course. Do you believe in the power of divinity? No. You mean some form of higher power? I've yet to meet anything stronger than myself. Have you ever said a prayer? Technically. Once, but it went unanswered. Would you regret casting a spell on your enemies? No? If they've invoked my wrath, they deserve whatever's coming to them. Would you consider yourself superstitious? No. No, but I am a little stitious. Have you ever been cursed or felt like you were cursed? Nah. Curses only affect the weak-minded. I am far from that. Do you think that evil magic exists? Sure. Oh, I know it exists. If you were the most powerful magician in the world, would you choose to rule it? Nah. What do you mean, if? Regardless of your silly question, the answer is no. I'm perfectly content setting it ablaze one town at a time. If you could cast a curse on an entire group of people, would you do it? No. Curses are something that take great level to unravel. I have not the time nor patience for such arts. Would you consider yourself to have a pure heart? Sure. Oh, the absolute purist. Do you believe that what goes around comes around? Yes. Of course I do. Need I remind you of the mess I made in your cells? Have you ever wished ill upon your enemies? No. I don't put stock in wishes. I make things happen. Do you believe that everyone has their demons? Sure. Of course. Some are just darker than others. Have you ever wished your enemies well? Yes. Of course I wish my enemies well. Well done, with some nice charred grill marks. Have you ever wished ill upon your loved ones? No? What makes you think I have loved ones? Have you ever wished ill upon yourself? Well, considering I'm standing here answering all of your mind-numbing, soul-crushing, pain-inducing questions, I must say I'm a glutton for punishment. If you had a spell that could turn back time, would you use it? Nah. I've done so before, and I don't think I'd like to go down that road again. If you had a spell that could blink into the future, would you use it? I enjoy surprises. I think I'll take life at my own pace. Would you ever use my magic to make a living? If I need to, yeah. I've been doing so my entire life. Do you believe that magic has its limits? Yes. Everything has its limits. Would you rather be able to bless others or curse others? Bless. Well, I can do both. I think I prefer to bless others if only those are my only options. Would you rather be blessed with luck or intelligence? I'm on a constant journey for knowledge. Intelligence knows no bounds. Would you rather be guarded by an angel or protected by a demon? No matter what way you cut it, the results are the same. I wouldn't need either of them to assist me, but if I had to choose, I suppose I'd pick an angel. At least I wouldn't have to wonder when they're going to turn on me.
Nico Nico ni, anata hato ni Nico Nico ni. Ikaw tataka wa yazao Nico Nico. Nico ni, tobes in love. Nico?
That's two this stream now. Hi Dart.
What's up? What's up?
We're just playing The Advisor. Would you rather be able to read minds or talk to the dead? Read minds. The power to know what people are thinking is as they're thinking. It can provide a great deal of power over any situation. Would you rather be teleport with someone besides yourself to a location far away once a day, or teleport myself once a month? Teleport others. I'd rather teleport somebody else once per day. That way they can take all the risk as they do my bidding. Which I have heal runes. I can already cause severe magical harm. Might as well heal. Would you rather have the power to give somebody life or instantly take somebody's life? Give someone life. The power to bring someone back to the dead is equal to none. Would you rather give up 1% of my own life to cast a spell or 5% of someone else's life? 1%. I think I could handle a little bit of self-sacrifice to meet my goals. Hi! Would you rather reign over a demonic kingdom or serve in an angelic palace? Serve. Demons can be ruled over. At least not for long periods of time. If you had to choose between bringing a pet back to life or a person back to life, what would you do? Person. I do care more for animals than I do people, but people are typically more useful. If you could turn invisible for 1 hour or breathe underwater indefinitely. It's difficult to rival. Yeah. If you had to cast a massive fireball to incinerate all your enemies or turn them against each other for an hour, what would you do? Massive fireball. I'd rather get the job done quick and incinerate them all. Would you rather summon an undead army to fight for you or call upon the spirits of the dead to haunt your enemies? Undead fight. An army of walking dead can't wreak havoc on both the living and their lands. This can be beneficial in many aspects. Would you rather bless your greatest enemy with wealth and power or curse your own kingdom with terrible luck? No matter how much wealth or power they'd amass, one day I'd raise claim to it all. Would you rather have a pet dragon or a pet unicorn? Dragon. Pet dragon. Easy. You've learned of an enemy church used by opposing forces to worship for in prayer. Your troops fear that if the enemy is able to invoke the power of gods, they could spell doom for your army. What do you do? We shouldn't waste time with such fallacies. A great magician has offered their magical services to aid your army in war. They request 10% of all your army's food rations, but claim that they can turn the tide in your favor. What do you do? If they take the deal, great. If they don't, we don't need them. Word on the wind is that your kingdom has a curse lingering over it from sins of the previous royals that held the crown. The curse is said to make sure that your defeat is inevitable in any future wars you wage unless royal blood is spilled on your side. What do you do? Sometimes we have to make sacrifices for the greater good, or something like that. A powerful priestess has come to your kingdom offering blessings for hire. She claims to be able to grant your kingdom various blessings for the low price of 10% of your livestock to be donated to her temple. What do you do? Blessing of health. 10% of our livestock is well worth a blessing of health. You've discovered the whereabouts of an ancient tomb containing the supposed cursed remains of a long-forgotten king. It is said that the wearer of the crown within the tomb possesses infinite power, but will eventually succumb to unending madness. What would you do? Destroy the crown. Such power should be claimed by no man. Your ancestors have found a way to get into contact with you from beyond the mortal realm, and they wish for you to heed a grave warning of the battle up ahead. They claim that if you send your troops into battle all at once, they will all perish. But if you send your troops into battle in small, 10% increments at a time, you will surely be victorious. You're unsure of how this could possibly win you the battle ahead, as it seems like all signs point to a guaranteed death for your army by sending in so many few troops at a time. Trust my ancestors. My ancestors can see things I cannot. I trust their judgment. Your army has just been decimated in battle, and you're one of the lone survivors returning home to give your king the news of your defeat. A wicked-looking woman comes into you in your dreams and tells you how to perform a ritual to bring your army back from the dead as mindless zombies in an effort to wreak havoc on the opposing kingdom for a second chance at victory. What do you do? I'm not going to let some old hag dictate my destiny through dream speak. Interesting choices. I'm beginning to understand more and more how your mind works. Oh, is that so? You're a very pragmatic individual, Magnus, and detect a hint of conscience within that soul of yours, but you balance it well with what needs to be done. That's cute. Well, we'll move on to the next set of questions, as I'm sure you've got more for me. Perhaps something a little more grim. I'm feeling rather grim. Then perhaps we should focus on espionage, warfare, assassinations, things of that sort. And afterwards you can tell me how well you know me and how you've gotten it all figured out. Yes. Proceed. Would you hire someone to kill your sworn enemy? Sure. I suppose if I wanted to relax for a weekend instead of doing it myself? Sure. To investigate the person and deliver valuable information to you? Sure. That's something I can see myself doing? Sure. Spies can be trusted. Not really. I don't believe that anyone can be trusted. Would you ever be a spy for your kingdom? Sure. I can see myself walking in those shoes. Would you ever be an assassin if you knew you could always get away with it? Sure. I'd be an assassin even if I couldn't get away with it. Would I be able to spot spies in my own inner circle? Somewhat. I could sniff out a rat from miles away. Would you give the orders for an assassin to take out a high-ranking official even if it would cost the assassination their own life? No. I feel a situation like that is due to mismanagement of people and resources somewhere along the line. Are you confident in your ability to devise an espionage mission that has high chance of success? If I have the knowledge to, maybe? Not really. It sounds like something I'd be willing to give a shot, but confident in? I've never done. Only fools would feel that way. If someone asked you to spy on a close friend or relative, would you do it? Sure. I don't have any close friends or relatives, but if I did, yes. If someone gave you more wealth than you knew what to do with it in exchange for information about your best friend that could possibly lead to their downfall, no. No, but I may sell them false information. If someone is plotting to kill a stranger, would you get involved in an attempt to stop it? That's not my business. Doesn't sound much like my business. A well-placed spy is more powerful than a strong enemy. Do you agree? Yes. I think in most situations, yes. A well-trained assassin is more important than a smart king. Sure. I don't value kings all that highly, so yes. You never really know someone until you know someone. Do you agree? Sure. With all my heart. It is important to keep your enemies close. Do you agree? Yes. I prefer to keep them locked in my cellar. Are you good at convincing people to trust you? Well, you hired me, didn't you? Can you convincingly act saddened by an event that doesn't actually upset you? Sure I can, but it also helps that I don't get saddened by trivial matters that people typically do. You know, death, loss, imprisonment, those kinds of things. Would you consider yourself cold and ruthless at times? Kinda. Have you met me? If your loved one is a spy and they got caught, would you give your life to save theirs? Considering I don't have loved ones, sure, why not? If you have a message for a king, but your life would be put in danger if you gave your king the message, would you still do it? Oh, I do like a bit of risk. Which do you feel it's more important for a spy to know how to lie incredibly well, or to relay information versus... Okay. At the end of the day, the fine details are what matters the most. Would you rather train your spies to act on lessons or survival lessons? Survival. To be able to walk away unscathed or at the very least survive any situation is a great trait to carry. Would you rather send 10 million mediocre spies or one very talented, one great spy? Quality over quantity king. Would you gather 10,000 gold pieces into training the ultimate spy? I didn't mean to click. Well, oh well. 10,000 soldiers trained as spies or 10,000 spies trained to be soldiers? A soldier with the intellect of a spy could prove to be very deadly indeed. Would you rather reward your spies with gifts for their service or threaten your spies with death if they fail? Reward them. Rewarding them for their work would boost morale, and morale is very important. If your spies were to get caught, would you attempt to save them or let them die in foreign lands? Attempt to save them. We don't want them being tortured and forced to give up information on our kingdom, do we? If you were to capture an enemy spy, would you execute them or try to convert them? We may be able to learn an awful lot from an enemy spy. If you found an enemy spy within your kingdom, would you torture them for information or offer them wealth in exchange for information? What has been given can also be taken away. Would you be more likely to trust an enemy double agent who came clean, or your own kingdom's double agent who has been known to be untruthful in the past? While it could be a ploy, this seems the safer option of the two. If your best friend revealed that they were a spy for an enemy kingdom, would you turn them in or let them continue the mission? Turn them in. I'd watch their head roll across the floor. This is why I don't have friends. If you were a spy and you were caught by the enemy, would you give up information in exchange for your life, or take your king's secrets to the grave? No one is getting information out of me unless they ask very, very nicely. If you were a spy and you failed your mission and knew there was a small chance your king would execute you if you returned home, would you take the chance to return home, or live alone in the wilderness for the rest of your life? I'd return home. I'm not that concerned, and I like my chances. Would you rather be in charge of trained spies who are really good at escaping dangerous solo situations, or really good at rescuing others from dangerous groups? I didn't mean to click that. A spy who can comfortably rely on themselves is a great spy to have. If you found out that your own king was corrupt, but his corruption would never affect you negatively, only benefit you, would you turn into a king to save the people, or let your king continue his corruption as long as it benefits yourself? I'd turn on my king to save the people, and then most likely use the momentum for my own corruption too. A group of your best spies have just been captured by the enemy, and they are being sentenced to death tomorrow at dawn. It took a decade to train these spies, and losing them would be quite a large hit to your kingdom. Attempting to arresting them could potentially cost you more. Okay. A more subtle approach would most likely prove best. You've made a grave mistake and trusted an enemy spy that cost your kingdom tens of thousands of resources. They plan to reveal themselves to your king as well as throw you under the bus in the process. What do you do? If I reveal the truth before someone else does, it takes their power away. You've sent one of your assassins to take out the opposing town guards and weaken their defenses for attack. Instead of killing the guards one by one, your assassin decided it would be easier to poison the town well, contaminating their water supply. All of the town guards have been successfully eliminated. However, thousands of innocent men, women, and children have also fallen ill or died in the process, and the water supply is no longer usable. Warn them. I love their enthusiasm, but they need a bit of tact. One of your spies has stolen a great fortune from the opposing kingdom, but stashed 50% of what they looted in an undiscovered location for themselves. While I appreciate the enthusiasm, they don't get to decide what they keep. You drift off to sleep in the night, but are woken by the sound of crying. You open your eyes and see your lover hovering over you with a dagger. A steady stream of tears come from their eyes. They reveal that they're supposed to assassinate you, and they've been lying to you all along, but they can't go through with it because they're madly in love with you. I can honestly see myself doing the same thing. You've managed to capture a spy in the opposing kingdom. They willingly give up all the information about their kingdom, hopeful that they'll spare their life. Most of the information is relatively useless. Thank them and let them go. If that's truly all they know, they can run along. You're in the royal chambers and you've been served a drink. Something seems suspicious about the beverage, and you're almost 100% convinced that it's been tampered with, but yet you have no proof. I do love risk, but the risk isn't worth the reward in this case. I think I'm going to stop pretending to know you now, because you continue to surprise me. Yes, I have that effect on people. It's honestly slightly terrifying, Mr. Magnus. Yes, I also have that effect on people. What other questions do you have for me, King? I can tell you're learning, which means I'm an excellent teacher. I'm quite enjoying how intelligent I feel around such lowly, imbecile creatures. Well, that was harsh. If I hurt your feelings, I assure you, I wasn't talking about you. Then who are you talking about? Someone who looks just like you, and sounds like you, and wears a crown, and just so happens to be sitting in your throne. But someone who isn't me? I don't know. Sure. I've always been a terrible liar. Perhaps we should just continue with the questioning. That sounds like a swell idea. Do you believe in a strong defense is more important than a strong offense? Yes. An enemy within our walls is twice as deadly as the ones outside. And is iron stronger than wood? Yes. Obviously. Is wood stronger than brick? Yes. Wood has the potential to do far greater things than a simple brick. Is brick stronger than iron? Really scraping the bottom of the barrel with these questions now, aren't we? Is brick stronger than iron? No, probably not. Do you believe that war is more mental than physical? Almost everything in life is more mental than physical. Would you consider yourself to be an expert tactician? Oh no. I prefer a more direct in your face onslaught. Would you consider yourself to be physically strong? No. For what I lack in physical strength, I make up for in ravishingly good looks. Would you consider yourself to be athletic? No. That's quite my strong suit. A genius? No. A smart man knows how smart he is. A wise man knows how smart he isn't. Am I talented in one form or another? Sure. Absolutely both in one form or another. Would you give your life to save a stranger? Depends on the stranger, kinda, but sure. Depends on the stranger, but perhaps. Would you give your life to save a loved one? In a parallel universe, yes. Would you sacrifice a stranger's life to save a loved one? Nah. No, probably not. But I would sacrifice a stranger's life just for the fun of it. Would you kill someone in cold blood to save your best friend? Sure. Sure, I wouldn't have killed a man in Reno just to watch him die. Would you accept payment in exchange for your aid in combat? Payment can mean many things. Yes, I would. Do you believe you could survive as a prisoner of war? Probably not. I'd probably offer myself out of boredom. If you had to resort to cannibalism in order to survive, could you do it? What do you mean, resort to? As if it isn't something I already do just for the taste. If you knew how you were going to die in battle, but your death would cause your kingdom to be victorious, would you still go to battle and participate? I'm confident in my ability to find a way back from the dead. Sure. If you knew that marching into battle would ensure the death of your entire army, but if you didn't march into battle, you'd be imprisoned for treason, would you still march into battle with your army? No. I'd take my army and turn them against my kingdom if that were the case. Would you rather equip your army with many archers or many cavalry? I've always been partial to range combat. Cavalry are foot soldiers. Cavalry. Warriors on horseback are worth their weight in gold. Wait, 10 catapults with only 10 barrels to or 1 catapult with I'd take the single catapult and cast a hastening spell to make it fire rapidly. Cold temperatures and cold temperatures. Cold temperatures. Many battles will be fought in the blistering cold. Equip your archers with longbows or crossbows. Crossbow. Crossbows can fire bullets that will pierce through the targets that arrows fired from longbows cannot. Beat your recruits in failing and trailing, so starve your troops for failing and trailing. Ooh. Beat. While either option sounds appealing, pain is a greater motivator. Execute troops who commit treason or banish them forever. Banish. Banishment is oftentimes a fate worse than death. Would you rather live in a society where anyone can challenge the leader to a duel to the death to determine a new leader, or have the leadership be passed down from royal bloodline? Let's do dueling. May the strong inherit the earth. If you had to choose between saving 5 family members or 1,000 soldiers in your army, what would you do? The needs of many outweigh the needs of few, or so they say. Would you rather be a judge or an executioner? I guess an executioner. What? I can't be both? Oh well. I suppose I'd rather have the joy of taking someone's final breath. Would you rather be famous or infamous? Famous. A fine line you walk either way, but fame carries less consequences. Would you rather win every battle but never win a war, or be triumphant in war but be devastated in every battle? I'd rather win my wars. Ultimately, that's what's important. Would you rather be an expert duelist or an expert tactician? At least an expert tactician, I can ensure a safe outcome in many different situations. Would you rather possess superhuman strength or superhuman intelligence? Being smarter is always better. Would you rather fight your battles using sword and shield or ranged weaponry? I'd rather pick my enemies off from a distance. Your men are preparing for war and they're scared out of their minds. They're sure that they're marching to the deaths, and it's your job to speak to them before the battle. What do you do? The thought of protecting their loved ones is often a man's greatest motivator. Word spreads through the ranks of a surging mutiny. At the head of the group, mutinous soldiers is one of your most skilled warriors. What do you do? My strongest soldiers are great assets, but I can't have him causing problems from within. Perhaps I can sway him with words. If not, I can always incinerate him. Your soldiers have been marching for many days, and they're beginning to miss their families greatly. You feel that morale boost is in order. What do we do? Let them ride home. I need my men focused, but riding home will remind them of what they're protecting. Enemy forces have abandoned the kingdom to seek to join yours. What do you do? An enemy of my enemy is my friend. A prisoner of war you've been keeping is trying to warn you of a conversation they overheard. They claim that someone within your ranks is plotting your death. What do you do? If someone of my own ranks is plotting my death, we will have wars at the very minimum. Your army has decided to march on without you, fighting for their own cause instead of the cause that the king has placed before them. What do you do? If they are meant to be in charge, they would be. Magnus knows best. Your scouts tell you that massive army is just over the hills planning a devastating sneak attack on your kingdom. What do you do? If they think they're going to have an easy sneak attack on our walls, we'll preemptively strike and catch them off guard. I believe I've enough information on this topic. I'm quite impressed, Magnus. You never cease to amaze me. After each round of questions, you prove to be a wealth of knowledge. Or perhaps I'm just very deceptive. But you said that you're terrible at lying. Sounds like something a liar would say. I have one more round of questions for you. Answer these, and I will have a clear direction to take my kingdom over in the next 12 months. I'm here to help, King. Ask away. Would you consider yourself to be a reasonable person? Absolutely. Wouldn't you? Would you consider yourself to be an honest person? With all my heart. Would you consider yourself to be loyal? Loyal to myself, sure. Would you consider yourself to be more intelligent than the majority of your peers? No, I just pretend to be. I sure hope no one finds out. Is blood always thicker than water? Family is not always blood. Are you able to go days without eating without it negatively impacting your mood? Sure. I'm always in a chipper mood. Can't you tell? Is your social standing important to you? Social standing? Please. I couldn't think of anything less important. Do you partake in alcohol consumption? A little. I've been known to drain an ale house dry on occasion. Do you partake in drug consumption? I prefer to keep my mind clear and remain in control. Are you sound of body and mind currently? Sure. Always. Would you consider yourself to be trustworthy? I assure you, you won't always like my answers, but you'll always know where we stand. Do you sometimes put yourself before others? Sometimes. Whenever I can. Well, sometimes it's a big, harsh thing. There's always situations where you put yourself in front of others. There's always situations where you be selfish. Would you consider yourself to be someone evil? No? There's no such thing as evil. There's only human. Do I have a good heart? I'd like to think so. It hasn't failed me yet. Do you have an incredibly guilty conscience? No? Oh, come on. Have you learned nothing about me? Do I love many people in my life? Nah. I don't waste my time with such emotions. Would you consider yourself to be confident? No. Not confident. Just simply the best at everything I do. Would you consider yourself to be a fast learner? Sure. I taught myself how to conjure a plague another hour. Does that clarify? Would you consider yourself to be quick-tempered? No. I remain calm regardless of the circumstances I find myself in. Would you rather be a leader or a follower? I'd rather let someone else have things up while I sit back and laugh at their stupor. Would you rather follow a strong but mean king or a weak but nice king? A weak king is easier to manipulate. Would you rather take the blame for something you did or take the credit for something you didn't do? I'd rather people know me for who I truly am. Would you rather fight a strong warrior to death or play a fatal game of chess with a wizard? I welcome all challenges in such games. Would you rather die for what you believe in or kill for what you believe in? Die. I suppose if I had to choose, I'd take my beliefs to the grave. Would you rather be able to fly or be able to turn into a body? Flying could get me many places I wish to go. Fight a lion to death or be eaten alive by a bear? Fight a lion to death. I prefer to live, thank you. Would you rather never eat solid food again or never consume liquid beverages again? I don't need food to be solid to enjoy it. Would you rather leave your friends and family behind or never meet anyone new in your life again? I don't really have friends or family at this point, but I also don't like people, so... Jester that everyone loves or tear that everyone hates? Jester. Oh, well, that sounds like my dream job. Would you rather rule over a massive army or a small band of troops? A small band of troops is easier to manage. Would you rather travel the world freely but have no home or build an impregnable fortress that you may never leave? I'm currently living that life as we speak. Would you rather solve problems with violence or without violence? If people don't need to die, then I can find a use for them later. Would you rather trust a liar or someone who believes you to be honest? If anyone could ever believe me to be an honest man, they wouldn't for long, I'm sure. If you had to choose between killing your favorite pet in order to eat and survive or die of starvation, I'll die. This is the first difficult question you've asked me all day. I might just die of starvation. The local innkeeper has been running a brothel. His prostitutes has made him wealthy man, and he's refused to share his wealth with his prostitutes. We can't reward bad behavior now, can we? Let the hosts enjoy their earnings. An old man was caught for stealing bread for his family. The punishment for theft in my kingdom is the loss of your left hand. What would you do? Bread is such a meager thing to steal. Let the man go. Once. A princess from a neighboring kingdom has come seeking marriage. She's proven to be very powerful, but not to be trusted. What should we do? We'll see what she's truly made of, in time. Plague has been sweeping nearby villages, but hasn't entered the kingdom yet. Many people have fallen ill or died. What should we do? Send the priests to do the job of the divine. If they die, they die. A strange, monstrous new races begin to appear on the land. They seem to speak our language reasonably well, but they are savage, uncivilized, and lure and trap our people to feed on their corpses. They hunt us like wild animals, and they're bigger, stronger, faster, perhaps even more clever than we are. If they act based on hunger, we can easily tame them. A traveling bard has come through our kingdom who can stuff a magical song that can turn the tide of battle. For his services, he requests room and board in the castle with the unlimited food and the fairest of maidens. We believe him to be true of his word. Offer him. He provides a magnificent magical prowess that can only be conjured up. They're worth the trouble. The old Barker woman has come forth and demanding that we offer her and her children immunity to tax collection. She didn't give a good reason other than she felt like the kingdom takes too much for her in this situation. She has too many mouths to feed to be able to afford taxes. It's not our fault this woman has been popping out children left and right. I believe I've gathered enough information about you, your morals, my advisory capabilities, and ultimately something. So does that mean you're done with me now, King? For the time being, yes. Over the next year, I will be instituting changes that need to be made based on your answers, and at the end of these next 12 months, I'll update you with a progress report of how things have turned out. If my kingdom falls into ruin, then I suppose we'll take it as a learning lesson and relinquish you of your title of royal advisor and allow you to carry on in your travels. And if your kingdom does not fall into ruin, then we'll know for certain that the advice you've offered has proven beneficial, and I suppose that means I'll owe you a great deal. So in other words, you'll be indebted to me. Yes, I suppose if you wish to put it that way, that would be accurate. Very good. Well then, King, I suppose I shall take my leave. I assume you have my chambers already prepared. I do not wish to sleep in the cell for the next year. Of course. Your private chambers have been prepared while our advisory session was in progress. I will have my guards take you there now. That's awfully kind of you, King, but I'm a big boy. I can find them on my own. Besides, I've got some exploring to do with these castle walls before I slumber. Upon joining King Harlot's ranks and becoming recruited as his royal advisor, many changes have come to pass over the last year. King Harlot has heeded your advice in many ways, imposing changes throughout the kingdom in hopes of prosperity and growth. The progress has been documented, and the result of the report is as follows. 72% more cavalry have been recruited. Archers have received 45% better training. Crossbowmen and longbowmen have begun working together, and their strategic prowess have increased by 42%. Swordsmen have increased their skills by 53%. Your army is 41% less susceptible to hunger pains while marching. Your troops have learned to gather food and purify water, with 61% increased efficiency. Your troops' knowledge of wilderness survival has increased by 64%. The morale of your troops has increased by 74%. Your military prowess overall has increased by 81%. Your army was able to repel 5 attacks made against your kingdom. Your army managed to capture 2 outposts, 4 villages, and 1 castle. Your kingdom's population has increased by 13%. Lord Farron made 11 unsuccessful attempts to attack your kingdom, each time thwarted more easily than the previous attempt. You suffered 12% military casualties over the last 12 months. You've recruited a total of 75% more troops than what you've lost. Your defenses are 71% stronger than ever before. Tales of a great sea beast was spoken on the winds, a beast of great legend that sank merchant vessel after merchant vessel, bringing the most bold and experienced of sailors to their inevitable demise at the depths of the ocean. You decided to see if their tales were true, so you set sail on the sea in search for this great beast. It turns out the legends were true. As tentacles began to wrap around your vessel, your men fought valiantly and there were a few casualties, but your magical prowess and quick thinking, you managed to vanquish the sea beast once and for all. As a nice bonus, it turns out that its lair wasn't too far from where you slew the beast, and upon discovering its lair, you also managed to discover that all of the fortune was obtained from the merchant vessels had been stored in the lair for the beast. Unrivaled wealth now belong to your kingdom. Congratulations! Trading commies have increased by 61%. Your spies have successfully completed 14 missions. 11 successful assassinations are carried out on opposing enemy forces. Your people are 55% happier than ever before. A raven appeared in your window upon the stroke of midnight, carrying a grave warning. It spoke in the tongue of ancients, and upon listening to its call, you learned that an army of savage barbarians were only 3 days' march away from your kingdom's walls. This would be absolutely devastating, as many of your own troops are currently marching into battle against Lord Farron. But with quick thinking and problem-solving skills, you devised a plan to ambush the barbarians and clear them out before they ever get a chance to reach the kingdom. Well done. Overall assessment of your advisory skills? Magnificent.
Just finish another one?
Yes. My secret word is Bard.
This one seemed a lot faster than the last one.
Yeah, that's about normal for most of them, actually. Most of them are closer to this length. So there's Fortune. Yep. There's Attack, Morale, Priestess, Blessing, Mercenary, Attack, Blessing, Barbarian, Mercenary, Blessing. Blah, a key.
Wow.
Magnificent advisor. Secret word is Bard. I did not receive this for free. Save changes. Alrighty. Who the hell's knocking at this ungodly hour? Open up, Magnus! We know you're in there! Just break the dang thing down. Bring him in. Hello again, Magnus. Wish we could be meeting under better circumstances. What the hell's going on here, Billy? Oh, Bill Buckles here says the two of you are best friends. Oh, is that so? Do you have any idea who I am, magician? Can't say that I do, but I'm sure you're about to tell me. I'm Captain Wallace of King Farian's army, as if the brother to King Harald. Uh-huh. Continue. You see, we've been after King Harald for some time now, and he was right where we wanted him. Lord Farron was just about to crush this kingdom, overtake it once and for all, but somehow they managed to do a 180-degree turn and make one hell of a comeback. Now, a little birdie tells me that the king has a new advisor. And something tells me that you're the one responsible for these recent changes. I am the little birdie he's referring to, in case you're wondering. Yep, I've gathered that. Thanks for the clarification, though, Billy. Sorry, Magnus. I didn't mean any harm by opening my big fat mouth. They just picked me up one day and... That's enough out of you. Now, Magnus, we want to bring you to our kingdom so you could advise Lord Farron and leave this crap hole behind. And why would I want to do something like that? Because if you don't, there will be consequences. No, we don't want to hurt you. But we can do this either the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. Interesting. Would you be so kind as to explain the difference between the two for me, Captain? Well, you see, you can either come willingly, nice and easy like, or we can take your best friend here and we can bash his brains in until you decide to join us. The choice is yours. Bloody hell, mate. You up and killed him. Oh, dear. It appears you've just lost your bargaining chip and any leg you had to stand on. What a pity. How could you just... This seems to be a massive miscalculation on your part, Captain Wallace. Perhaps you should tell me again about this hard way that you mentioned earlier. Look. There has to be some sort of agreement we can come to. Oh? Now you wish to negotiate. Lord Farron needs your help. King Harald isn't what you think he is. Please, Magnus. We could really use your expertise. Yes, I don't doubt that. Lord Farron has much to offer you. Does he now? I'm sure you've heard of the staff of Mordalius. You're lying. Cross my heart, hope to die. And you will. I'm not lying, Magnus. I swear to you. We picked it up on an island not far from here. We learned of an ancient artifact located nearby, so we ventured forth. Turns out the legends were true. Wasn't even that hard to fetch, surprisingly. We anticipated a great deal of resistance if such an artifact were to exist, but the natives on the island didn't put up much of a fight. This is certainly not the proposition I was expecting from you when you came barging into my chambers. You wouldn't reject joining us, Magnus. But if we are going to make this happen, you're going to need to swear off all loyalty to King Harald once and for all. So what do you say? Do we have a deal? Or not? I've successfully managed to advise King Harald and turn his kingdom around. Perhaps it's time to move on to bigger and better things, or maybe staying with King Harald is your best decision after all. You've been given a secret world as well as a final choice to make. Let us know in the comments whether you think Magnus should stay with King Harald or defect and join his brother Lord Farron. Secret word is barred. Yep. Take the secret word. Yep. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Oh, I didn't mean to click. Whoops. Haha. Didn't mean to do that, but that was about all that I had for us today. I know. I know. Arisu. We've only been here for an hour and a half. I know. I know. But it is time to move on and watch some other stuff, okay? So, how's about we watch somebody play a little bit more of a spooky game? Right? We played a nice and fun game. Why don't we watch a spooky game? So, I've got us a person to raid, okay? I've got us a person to raid. We've raided her like once or twice before, so she might be able to recognize our names by now. We'll find out. Maybe, maybe not. Make sure you guys check out the Etsy stuff. Make sure you check out the coffee up there. We're working towards a new mic for a nice Mar stream, pretty much. Make sure you check out my Discord, which is in my about. I can also give you guys a little link here to, you know, just like something. Here we go. It's called the Kittens Play Area. If you're not already in there, make sure you guys go hop on in there, you know? Alright. And I will see you guys next week sometime. I don't know. I know I'm busy this week. I'm sorry, y'all. But goodbye!